JoshCast, dun, 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 no, it's the podcast that should die. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, my concern is that there is a lack dun, 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 dun. Oh, of audience who is listening to this. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, but the Buddhists say I should do things without having ulterior motive. Dun, 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 dun. JoshCast, dun, 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 dun. JoshCast, dun, 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 dun. JoshCast. All right, so what's going on? Well, I just ate vegan gummy bears, 2 packs of vegan gummy bears. And right now I feel like I'm going to be waiting for my intestines to decide how to punish me. Right now they're in deliberation. There's some people are saying, okay, some of the small intestines I think really wants me to suffer in pain over the next 12 hours. The large intestines wants me to just kind of forget that I ate it, and then out of the blue, 12 hours from now, suddenly just have to go to the bathroom. And they're deciding which way they're going to go on that. It'll be really exciting to see what their verdict is. I understand the odds in Vegas are on large intestine, so that's a fun thing going on there. I'm following. Here's the thing. I'm reading Donald Trump's tweets every day, but I'm not following him. Like, I don't want to give him the satisfaction of being one of his followers. So I have to keep searching for him manually on Twitter. And what he said recently was the tweet that struck me. He said, basically, even though I disagree with your opinion, I applaud your right to protest. And I feel like many women who were marching over the weekend were doing so because of his grab him by the pee line. So if he's saying that he disagrees with their opinion, is he saying that he disagrees with their opinion that it's not okay to grab someone by the pee? Did that just happen? I believe is that what he meant? I mean, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. And the fact that I even have to ask the question is, in and of itself, rather bone chilling. Indeed. And also, I feel like Pence said the same thing. I respect the American people's right to have their opinion. Isn't this a great democracy when people have a difference of opinion? Which is not what he was saying before the election. When people had a difference of opinion. In fact, he was. Part of the reason why they're marching is because of all the things he said before the election when he didn't have their opinion. But I don't want to get too mired in politics. I want to talk about what's really on my mind. I want to go deep. I want to emotionally reveal. That's what they keep saying. These podcasts are about emotionally revealing, and I'm finding that here's the thing. There's no reason why I shouldn't be having more sex. There's the only thing that is getting in the way of me being in a relationship is me. If I can remove myself from the situation, I'm gold. I'm telling you. As soon as I get myself out of, as soon as I get myself out of the way, man, I would be in a stable relationship as we speak. The problem is me, and it's just I am too afraid to go out there. That's all there is to it. But I have to put energy into it. I have to go meet people and talk to people. I think that's actually the first step. And then just be able to just be open and talk to people. That's what that's what I have to do. And the problem is that I really hate that. I think my favorite parts of any relationships that I have are the parts after we get to know each other and then we only sporadically talk with each other. For me, that's heaven. How do I get to that? I think I want to skip this courtship and jump right to the 10-year part of the marriage. That's where I want to go. That's, I talk to someone once or twice a week. We just kind of check in with each other. Is there sex once a year? Maybe. And yeah, fine. and beyond that, we can we each have our own parking space. That's really all I'm asking for. Is that too much to ask for? I don't know. Transition. It's been raining the past few weeks in California, and good for California, good for the environment, good for the drought problem. I personally hate the rain because I don't need help getting depressed. I appreciate that the weather is trying to help me. I really do. But I got this. I got this, weather. I got this. I can do it myself. Thank you. No, I prefer sunny weather. And unless it gets too hot, then that gets annoying too. I think the perfect weather is kind of that September, October. October is perfect. I'm talking about the weather on a podcast. Oh, how am I expecting this? And then the other thing, I recently had my tarot read. And the person who read my tarot said that I'm going to start a new project, and that it's going to be, at first, people are going to say, don't do this with this project, but then it's going to really turn around, and she thinks it's a podcast, and I'm wondering if it's this podcast. And she says, people are going to tell me to do it one way, but I'm going to do it another way, and it's going to work out. And what most people are telling me is that that everything I'm doing now with this is, really not funny, which is a problem when I'm trying to cultivate a comedy podcast. So but she's saying that I guess if I keep at it, it's going to eventually yield something, and So I'm going to keep at it right now, and I'm assuming that somehow that what I'm doing is in the right direction. I have no feedback because I don't think I have. I have one or two people listen. I haven't really been telling people about the podcast, which is a problem. Yes, and I don't. Oh, and I'm flummoxed, and I hate being flummoxed. I got to get out of being flummoxed. Look, the point is, I feel like I have to talk through it in order to get to the good stuff. That's what it is. Because I tried doing this podcast early on. I tried writing stuff out and then kind of reading it into the podcast, and that didn't feel right. It feels better to just wing it and almost have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do, which is scary. This is very scary. Not as scary as it is for whoever's listening to it, but. Well, I doubt the emotion you're going through right now is fear. It's probably more like, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my life right now? All I have to do is press pause. All I have to do is press pause or stop and go to the next YouTube video, and then go to the YouTube video after that, and then either pleasure myself or someone else, depending on where I'm at in my life, and then go to bed. Transition. I want to, I think I want to close with a bedtime story. I think that'll be good. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a ship dealer, and he sold ships. And his name was Bill. Bill Sky Saunter. Sky Saunter. Bill Sky Saunter. That was his name. Bill Sky Saunter. He sold ships, and this beautiful princess came to him, and the princess said, "Listen, I need a blockade runner." And Bill said, "I'm your man. Listen, when people need a ship, they go to Bill Sky Saunter, and that's me. I'm your guy. I've got blockade jumpers. I've got blockade weavers. I've got blockade casual, fly casual, blockade fly casual. How about a blockade fly?" No, she said, no, I want to run a blockade. I just want to, I don't want to waste time. I'm in a hurry here, and I want to make sure it needs to run a blockade. And Bill says, "Well, how about this one over here? I highly recommend it." And she says, "Is it used?" He says, "No." And she says, "There's blast patterns on it." He says, "That's that's part of the design. That's chic. That's what's in now. It's kind of, it's made to look used, but I'm telling you, it's new. It's in perfect condition. And she said, well, I'd like to have one of my guys inspect it. And he says, cash up front. That's all I do, cash up front. And upfront cash. It's a dark time for the Republic. It's a dark time. It's a dark time. Everyone knows this. It's written all over space. Dark time. Cash up front. And the princess says, all right, fine. I'm in a hurry. Are you sure it can run a blockade? Absolutely. Absolutely. So he sells her the ship, and she gives him the money, and he goes about his day. It goes about his week. Uneventful. Not a lot of people buying ships that week after that. He gets a call. It's from the princess, and she says, hey, so about the blockade runner. It did not run the blockade. And he says, what do you mean? She says, I reached a blockade, and I tried to run it, and I was captured and tortured and nearly killed. It did not run the blockade. And Bill says, and Bill's real quick on his feet. Bill says, listen. It's called a blockade runner. It's not called a blockade outrunner. And she hung up and had him executed. That's the end of the story, really. That's the end. She just said, okay, you know what? I recognize that I'm a good person and I'm fighting on the side of right, but I'm going to take this one opportunity and use my power and just send someone to assassinate this guy. I'm going to do it right now. Hey, you, get over here. Yeah, you're going to... Bill Skysaunter, kill him. I want him dead. I want him dead. I want him dead. I want him to see it coming, too. And I want you to tell him Princess Leia says hi. That's exactly what I want. This is the end of the podcast. The end of the podcast. And the children sing and the children play. This is the end of the podcast.